Welcome to Palm Beach, Florida. The sun is about to set, but the heat is only turning up on the AVP League. It's a different kind of serve and volley at the Delray Beach Tennis Center. The Southern Coast playing host to week 1 of the AVP League. It's a bi-coastal battle to get us started. The Brooklyn Blaze taking on the San Diego Smash. Chase Buttinger is ready to rock and roll. Two teams, especially on the men's side, looking for their first win on the league. Hi everyone, Cameron Irwin alongside the Olympian Casey Patterson and some rookies we have seen really step onto the sand and trying to make a name for themselves. One such, Brian Miller. This is a big time battle for him. Last night he had to face Phil Dahlhauser and all of a sudden, well, how about the 2024 Paris Olympians and Chase and Miles?
Yeah, welcome to the league. You're going to play both Olympic teams right away. Hope you have fun and you're going to hang with them. You know, it's a big boy game today. It's going to be high flying, a lot of action. I'm excited to see how Brian and Sean deal with the Olympians because they're going to bring everything they got.
Well, it is going to be a battle. There's no doubt about it. And it's only our first battle of the day as well, because we've got a full list in store for you. The first 2 matches will be right here on YouTube. Our second 2 matches of the day, you can catch those on the CW. A list as the Brooklyn Blaze and San Diego Smash have the first 2. Get a chance to see Lexi Denneberg and Julia Donlin go head-to-head with Tony Rodriguez and Gina Urango. 2 teams coming off of 2 3-set wins, big ones just an evening ago. And then as we head to the CW, Kylie DeBerg and Haley Harward will take on the Olympic silver medalists, Melissa Humana-Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson, a team that was stunned an evening ago with a big-time loss. Let's take a look at the new format on the AVP. 8 teams, 1 duo per gender, and we saw the 15 points last season, but what excites you about this year's changes?
Yeah, I love that you can win as an individual team and then also as an entire franchise in a sense, and I love that part where we can go in all together, we can win it together, both men's and women's, but also I get to go for it with my partner and go try to win the title as the best team in the league, and I love that.
We've got 2 championships to play for this year. You've got your city franchise looking for the cup, as well as the duos going head-to-head. Just the top 6 teams making the championships in Chicago. The fans are ready to rock and roll, and our 4 pros are just about ready to take the sand. Let's head down to Mark Sherman for our player intros.
And we are all set for our first match of the night on this gorgeous Saturday evening in Delray. Brooklyn taking on San Diego, and we'll have the gentlemen out there first. Let's meet the players. First up for the Brooklyn Blaze. He's the defender out of Perth, Scotland. So much fun to watch out there, everybody. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches tall, he is Sean Cook. And his partner, we welcome to the league this weekend, coming out of Mercer Island, Washington, and Washington State University. The blocker standing at 6 feet 8 inches tall, it's Brian Miller. And their opponents, the defending league champions, the San Diego Smash. First up, he stands at 6 feet 4 inches tall, the defender out of UC Santa Barbara, it's Miles Evans. And standing at 6 feet 7 inches tall, the blocker out of Arizona, it's Seba Chase Buttinger.
As we get set, let's take a look to last night's results. It was really interesting. Franchises left and right, everyone splitting, getting 1 win and 1 loss. And again, when you're looking to those cup championships, the win-loss record becomes ever the more important.
Yeah, it's all so different now. But great thing is, you know that you have like a supporting cast that can help pick up some slack if you don't get the win, right? So, you know, of course you want to get the individual cup, but just like in any other situation, you want to win the team one first. I feel like that's the #1 thing. And then, you know, the individual team is like kind of dessert to your main course as far as winning the championship.
Well, you saw it on screen. A reminder, these 2 teams looking for their first win in the league. Quick snap, that's Chase Buttinger from the service line. And they're starting on Sean Cook, the Scotsman.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to fly. He jumps so high. He's got so much range in the angle, high, middle, and angle, so it's so hard to not just want to go dive into that every time. But I'm surprised. I'd test the young rookie, you know, right off the bat. I'd go at him.
Well, they're testing out their option play on the side of the San Diego Smash, a hitting error.
Yeah, I mean, that's something they're committed to, right? This year and last and through the Olympics, you have to commit to that and be okay with some errors here and there, because over the long run, that's going to pay off incredibly.
Miles Evans, a chance to side out. Quick check down, and it's heavy into the angle. The defending champs looking to find their title here again in 2025.
Yeah, this is where I love that, you know, Sean's in that pocket, and Brian's going to start finding himself more and more, getting his, you know, his timing down, his spacing down, because, you know, he has a chance to play against all these Olympians now, so this is a great opportunity for him.
The net says no good, as does Sean Cook.
I love that. Yeah, he yells the loudest when he has nothing to do with it. That's great.
I don't know if anyone has celebrated a missed serve louder than he.
It's so good. Whether you know he's doing it on purpose or not, you're just a little bit of irritation, which is perfect, right? It's the mental game.
Brian Miller heads back to Miles Evans, and that is the option play. Explain the style of offense that you see from the San Diego Smash.
Yeah, the special part also about how Chase and Miles do it is they don't just pass middle and go for the on-two. They go wide to wide, right? So pin to pin. So Brian has to like do a little dance in the middle and decide which one to choose, and that's borderline impossible.
I wouldn't have to make that decision, as that is just out of bounds. I couldn't tell if he caught a little finger.
Yeah, you have to try for the touch, the early touch call, whether you didn't or not, you know.
If you're watching the AVP League for the very first time, sets are played to just 15 points. It is an all-out sprint. Best 2 of 3. Side set from Cook, and it's juicy.
Okay, I'll take an OT for my first swing. He even called for the tight ball, like tight, I'm just going to go high and flat. And I love it, because that's something that when I first played Ryan Doherty, came from baseball, 7-1, he's like, just put me tight. But don't make me think.
I can win every battle at the net, it doesn't matter.
Let me just go high and flat.
Trying to find the service pressure now, Sean Cook. Just 33 years old is Sean. Originally from Perth, as Miles Evans is the opposite side of the world, from Santa Barbara. Looking to block right in front, that angle, can't shut him down.
Yeah, I mean, that's frustrating as a blocker, because Chase made the perfect play. It's just that Brian's angle of attack is so flat and high, it's hard to redirect that down. It's a great option for Brian to just go tempo and keep Chase in front.
Chase with a bit of a pirouette. Sends one to the sand.
Okay, young rookie, let me go sizzle the pits right here. You go up there real high, I'm going to go under. Then when you go low, I'm going to go over.
I mean, it's got to feel like dangerous territory to go after Chase Buttinger.
Oh, for sure. One of those solid side-out players ever, and you're just going to give him an easy float. Not a great option.
Short serve, and they pay the price.
His ability to just jump and have his shoulder and arm already loaded on his way up. He does a great job of unloading on his way up, so his timing is so hard to read. Plus, he has an absolute cannon for an arm.
He had 6 kills last night, hit 270 against the Palm Beach Passion. That's Trevor Crabb and Phil Dahlhauser as a duo. And it was Brian Miller that saw the majority of the side out.
Right, we were down courtside, and it looked like he had just gotten out of the pool. He was dripping. It was glimmering. He had so much sweat.
I feel like that right now.
I know. I'm like, wow. I'm not even siding out when I feel like that. So I love that for Brian. Don't let me just go straight up and down with Chase and deal with his bag of tricks that he has as a blocker. I'm going to move around and just keep him in front of me and then just be big.
Trying to attack the middle. Chase yet again, cagey with the deception. Back on the defense, and he is unafraid.
Again, like, if you're going to be a defender, you need to watch Sean Cook and his transition ability, his window in transition, to be able to elevate on his way up and still bring absolute heat. It's incredible.
Time to check in with the third member of our crew, Kevin Barnett, on the sideline with some more intel maybe on Brian Miller.
Yeah, let's talk about Brian Miller and his journey into the game. Growing up Mercer Island, not a place you think of with men's volleyball, and he did grow up in a family that played. His dad, Jeff, brought it to his life late at 28 and then fed it to his family. One of 3 kids, Brian would go down to the local sand courts, a couple doors down, and start to get in some games. It was really something he played for fun and was part of the family game. He's carried that now down to San Diego where he works full time and gets in his time. It is nice when you have a family game that you enjoy, that you have some of the technical attributes to go with it, being 6'8" and being able to get up and be as physical as he can. I'm excited to see him and what he can do against the Chase Budinger here. The teamwork is going to be critical between him and Sean. Already we've seen some good on-twos. I'm excited about that early on.
You mentioned Brian and his dad. Well, I'm sure his dad's sitting somewhere right now, locked and loaded. And he also got a chance to play his very first qualifier with his brother David.
That's so rad.
His first opponents, Kevin McCullough and Rafu.
No way. Just bombing their jump serves and chopping you up and slicing. That's what a fun match. And you get to play with your brother. Oh, yeah. That's what I want Cash and Guy to do. That's so cool.
Right back to it and short to the angle.
Great timing by him. There's something about, okay, this sand is great. I love this sand, but it's also very jumpy, right? And so you get a little anxious, especially on offense or blocking. And so learning to calm the nerves a little bit and find the timing is like the priority whenever I'd play on this type of surface. It was be very smooth and calm and get into a flow.
Who's going to get into a flow late in this first set? It could be Chase. I was wondering, he got a couple good looks early that he wasn't able to turn. The Olympic pairing of Chase Budinger and Miles Evans, they took a 5th in Paris, but they turned a lot of heads with that late push.
It was incredible.
To get there.
They did everything they needed to when it was clutch. I mean, they just balled out, which was really hard to do. There's a run for Chase.
I was going to say, there's that flow, back-to-back blocks for Chase Budinger.
See, and that's his special powers, right? You see Chase's body up and down, but his arms leveraging really far outside his body. And as an attacker, the first thing I look for is the blocker's body and midline. And then I read off that. And when a guy goes so far outside his body, it's so hard to be confident in your attack. Look at that, his left hand just like 2 feet away from his head. So then you're like, oh, well, now I got to go high, and then you spray one out. So that's what that type of blocking does. It's just the mind games that take you down a rabbit hole you don't want to be on.
It's the first lead for the San Diego Smash after a 3-0 run, 2 of which earned by blocks from Chase Budinger. And he's not just a threat at the net from a blocking standpoint, but also from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah. And then don't even get me started on his float and jump serve. I mean, if there's a triple-double in volleyball, I mean, Chase is like the epitome of that. His ability to create chaos and score for his team is, you can't stop him.
So you got to educate a little bit on some of these numbers. What is impressive? These are 2024 AVP league hitting percentages. I mean,
yeah.
What would you say is the norm, considering the conditions, the sand, the scoring system?
That's actually right where it needs to be, because if you look at all those guys, those are all guys that you're not typically serving every ball, right? So they're the ones that you get the one and they bounce it, or they go on 2 and they take advantage of really good opportunities. And then if you decide to go to them, they're already so confident that that's the realm that they live in, is like, you know you need to give them some more, but you don't want to, because they're just going to light their team up and just take over.
So those numbers are your hitting efficiency. It's kills minus errors divided by the total number of attempts. That's what you were
asking. I was like,
got you. No, your explanation was like, better. I do the layman stuff. You got all the in-depth stuff.
I'll go. I used to be that guy that no one served, and I had like 800 because I had like 4 attempts because everyone was scared of me. And then I went to the guy everyone served, and I'm like, oh, it's a lot harder to get 800 when I'm getting every ball.
A quick side out from Brooklyn here. It's a race to 5. Here we go.
Yeah, this is where you hope like Brian can, start to affect the play a little bit. Good tough serve. Ooh.
Oh, that was really nearly close. A dagger.
Yeah, that was really close.
Brian Miller working with that jump float. Now he's going to have to find a side out. Works the left side of the platform. Quick 2 steps and another block for Chase.
Yeah, it's a combo of him wanting to go maybe get it up high. The set might be a little bit low. At the same time, you just got stuffed 2 times in a row. So now you're looking at Chase a little bit longer than you probably want to. So here's where you just got to kind of reset and go high, flat, middle again, or yeah, like the option. I mean, that's a great option by Sean to kind of help his guy feel confident again and like ease some tension.
An optioning from the right side, nonetheless.
Really difficult, yeah, because you got to let it come over your left shoulder to your right and then have some range.
Score 10-12. Last time he tried to just go right over the top. This time it's Miles Evan, the scoop.
Oh,
Quick touch,
turn.
and this has to go. Easy double axe handle. There's the dig.
Such a good
Cook
scoop by Sean.
against the swing block.
I love how patient both Brian and Sean were in that position. They've gotten stopped the last 3 times. You feel real anxious to hurry and score, so you want to like feel like you need to go run something down. They both stayed super patient. Brian did a good job of kind of fading. Great execution there, and shows that that's why they're here.
Pass has gone awry. What can Buttinger do? Cook with another chance to turn. How about a jumbo?
It always surprises me when any player does that as an option in trans, because that was something that I never thought about, but that's incredible. What a good patient shot by him. You know, I hate when I'm Miles, I think, oh, that's out for sure. You know, lands right on the line.
1 point game. Side set.
Ooh.
And that is a coffin corner if I've ever seen one.
Perfect shot. And, you know, with Brian being so big, right, 6'8", super long arms, he also flies. That's a surgical shot by Miles.
Set point for the San Diego Smash. Fakes the jump set. Chance to turn, quick set to the right. And another from C-Bud.
Nice set.
Picked up, and it's a free ball kill.
You never know unless you go, kids. Every coach says that. It's all effort, it's a mindset. Good hustle, good cover. What a play.
Sean Cook making some digs right now. They are not phased at the moment by Chase Buttinger's block. Recycled 2 in that last rally.
Yeah, right. We're one side out away from tying it up. Or a real point, sorry.
Second set point for the Smash. Check down. Ooh. And it's Miller. It's Miller time, no doubt. 14-all.
Did you see that big look by Chase? He takes a big look. Sean's kind of hiding behind Brian. And then Brian does such a good job of being so patient here and leveraging that line. Letting Chase think it's there, staying kind of close, and then yoink and then real reach, outside body, take it away. That's a high-level blocking move. The rookie's arrived. I love that move.
Not shocking to see a timeout called at this juncture. The San Diego Smash had 2 set points, unable to close out the first. You must win by 2.
This is always where I'm like, they just picked my pocket. They went in, grabbed my change, took my gum. Like, we should have already won. Why are they taking my stuff?
Well, Kevin might have some insight on the sideline. What's going on, Kev?
I love that last play where the ball's passed over. Lots of times, everyone thinks players are kind of monkeying around while they're getting ready, while they're doing warm-up, short court, having a little fun with some macaroni before it's a common indoor warm-up game. That just saved this first set, the ability to put your opponent in trouble off your platform. Casey,
yep.
It's all those ball touches, all that weird stuff. I think we talk about Taylor Crabb most often in the amount of situations he faces in the game. Right there, that's just a creative play.
Yeah, right. It's all those reps on Vollis warming up, or the no-jump style where you learn to just be able to scrap and go make something out of nothing.
Well, somebody's got to make something right now. 14-all, must win by 2. If you are the Brooklyn Blaze, what's the serving strategy here?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be honest, I go back to the roots of traveling on the World Tour. I'm just going to test. I'm going to cross and hit this middle serve, like kind of a 14-footer that tails right in between both. Let them deal with each other.
Watch for that 14-footer. 15 is too good. That's a high lift from C-Bud. Miller gets another. And it's Miles Evans taking out the trash.
Miles was like Santa throwing the bag over the shoulder with a little low tomahawk cover. That was cool.
Presents have arrived. There's the cut from Miles Evans. A third set point for the Smash. Right through the middle, and a whiff on the option.
Oh, that's a bummer.
On their third opportunity, the San Diego Smash picking up set number 1. The Smash just one set away from their first win in the league.
How about a little magic? How about a little magic, huh?
Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshing and goes down smooth. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
Yeah, I mean, we're a new partnership too, so you know, the first couple events we're still learning the ropes a little bit. You know, he's from a different country. I'm from a different part of the U.S. than where he is, so a lot of logistics that are different that we were able to overcome, and we barely squeaked in. The, you know, a couple points here or there, things might be different. So yeah, we're fortunate to be here.
Brian Miller is a rookie. And it's been impressive, these two qualifying in through a daunting qualifying opportunity. As you look to some of the names that have qualified in, Lexi Denneberg and Brian Miller on the Brooklyn Blaze. This is per team Hagen Smith and Logan Weber, one of those other teams that made it through the qualifiers out in Huntington Beach just a few weeks ago. But Brian has also talked at length about their new coach, Stafford Slick, who they worked with down in San Diego. And Stafford Slick sounds like an awfully familiar name.
Cyclops, the superhero
with the AVP.
goggles.
Yeah, here are the goggles,
Stafford.
right?
Yeah.
But from your perspective, what does somebody like Stafford Slick bring to the table?
Oh, he's so intelligent, brings so many layers and wrinkles of the game. Also, really physical player when he played. So he's a guy that I feel like connects really well with Sean and Brian, both guys that are high flyers, real physical. And then he adds his expertise of the layers that he knows of beach volleyball all over the world during his career. He's a great fit for them.
Bunch of dads in that trio as well.
Yeah.
I think they've got like 6 kids between the 3 of them.
It's basically his daddy daycare at the beach. Just, hey, we're going to go practice. I mean, take the kids to the beach and play volleyball. So good.
You saw the names on the screen. I'm Cameron Irwin, Casey Patterson sitting to my right side, and Kevin Barnett down on the sand. Second set now underway. And there is a unique element to these two in regards to 2 different locations for training. One based out of Los Angeles now, and Brian Miller out of San Diego. Have you ever come across something like that, and how difficult is it?
It's really, really hard. I've been up in like Camarillo Ventura area training in Hermosa, so it's a, you know, could be a 3 or 6 hour round trip to go practice. It's hard.
You know what to do!
At the last second.
You know what to do.
I'm just wondering about Sean Cook. He's starting to amp up the volume. Do you think that's going to do something to Mr. C-Bud on the other side?
Yeah, that's the downside, is you'd always have to know who it actually fires up versus who it doesn't. You got to just be careful with that.
It's like poking a bear.
Yeah. Great serving. I mean, Brian, I was really impressed with those last couple blocks in the end of that first set. I thought he made great moves, great timing. It's very patient. I feel like it's going to end up into some good blocks to lead to a run here.
Impressive swing from Miles Evans. Got a chance to speak with him earlier this week, and one of the things that stood out the most is just his absolute love for the game of beach volleyball.
Oh, yeah.
He also played indoor, but spent a significant amount of time in Santa Barbara. And when he was younger, he said, all I ever wanted to do was just be a professional athlete and be a professional volleyball player. Lo and behold, finds himself all the way in Paris.
Right. We used to call that burning the boats. There's no going back. You're on the island. You got to make it work. You got to survive. And that's what you have to do, especially go to the Olympics or even make it on tour. You have to.
I loved it in his collegiate bio. It says kinesiology major. And then in the subscript, all it says is, I just want to be a professional athlete. I'm like, who needs a kinesiology?
You need all the backup plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Great high swing from Chase. He's not bringing anything down low anymore. He's just going to go OT. Ooh, subtle, soft. I love it. A little softer side of Brian. He probably could hit it with his head. He was so high, but he used his arm still.
Brian, of course, 6'8". Sometimes it's hard to gauge from the TV just how tall these athletes are.
Yeah, 6'8", and you know, easily touching almost 12 feet. All these guys. So it's what a scoop by Sean.
Quick step in, a different route.
Wow, look how close that is. I love that route, though. I love adding some wrinkles and making those guys have to overthink their defense. What a layout by Sean. I mean, I feel like the anti-defense club is kind of this facade now at this point. He's playing way too good on defense.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Oh, cover with the foot. I believe. Let's go, Chase. Get weird.
It's great. Casey Patterson in the booth for this one.
Oh, it's kind of a hybrid Volus. Okay, Kev. Kev loves this rally. He loves it. Jumbo. Wow, we've seen everything. Oh, the net call is the worst feeling. I feel for you, Brian. What a rally. That was like a Monday morning warm-up game before practice started. The foot save by Chase was rad.
I mean, that was pretty epic. I still don't know if it rivals New York City and Casey Patterson.
I just wanted you to bring it up. Thank you.
That is pretty epic, Chase Buttinger.
Such a good... Oh, and Miles making the handcuff save out of the net, too. Sean's echo technique on Trash Talk, where you just repeat what the person said louder. Great, that gets in your opponent's head quickly.
I asked Miller about whether he actually enjoyed that aspect of his part. He said, oh yeah, I need that energy and I love it.
That's rad.
There's that pin-to-pin offense you mentioned.
That's, you know, it just puts Brian on ice skates in a sense. You can't really commit to one or the other, but you know you have to affect the game somehow, and it's so frustrating. No, they did a great job. I watched both live streams of them in those first two qualifier finals that they didn't win, and it was just incredible. They were playing at such a high level, so to have them here, they earned it.
Right now, they've got a 3-point advantage. Chase and Miles, they got to clean up a few things. Where are you seeing the errors mount?
Yeah, you know, it's not even really anything that they're doing wrong. It's just that Brian and Sean have made some great plays and won, you know, the weird scramble rally. You know, and it doesn't feel like they've really taken anything yet, but they have in points, but not on the vibe on the court. And so I think what they're doing, the coach just talks, they're going to reset. They're going to go back to like the default and set the tone and then go from there again.
You see the returning teams on the screen. Well, the San Diego Smash aren't just returning, they're also the champions from 2024.
Yeah, they finished the end of that season so well and so strong.
In the second set, the Brooklyn Blaze and the San Diego Smash. Chase Buttinger, Miles Evans facing off against Brian Miller and Sean Cook. Smash with control of set one, however, trailing here in the second.
The difficulty of Chase's line shot just now, he came in, was inside out jump with an outside in ball, and then he goes kind of like a snake bite down the line. I mean, there was like 4 different layers of momentum. That was incredible.
Side set again. Chase does not fall for it, but too much heat from Miller.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm Sean and Brian, I want to keep Brian in that zone where he doesn't have to do like a hesitation to look. He can just go get it high and flat and then decide what he wants to do versus kind of wait and look and deal with the defense.
Handful of missed serves now from both sides of the net.
Yeah, we're talking about yesterday, like, oh, we have quick sets, so how aggressive, where's the line has to be elevated a little bit as far as location, but then you'd have to be willing to miss a few too, but one feels like 5.
In this format it does, as there's a touch off of, oh, they didn't call the touch.
Said no touch.
Wow, I thought there was one off of Chase Budinger.
Well, Brian tried to turn it back towards the hands late, and so it had that weird little funk on it. So I think that's what they're looking for, is sometimes you can fake that with just a weird contact off your hand and get the touch call.
San Diego Smash picked up set 1 and are currently trying to find that second. As you look to the schedule, this is just the first week of the AVP League. We'll have a chance to head off to San Diego. We're going to the other side of the country. And then how about, why not, just a full reversal back on to Miami and East Hampton, LA. Casey, what are you most looking forward to in terms of stop location?
Well, I've never been to Hampton, so I'm excited to go there, and I'm going this year, so that's going to be an exciting adventure. I'm really excited about Austin and Chicago. Chicago is a very magical city alone, but then also when we get to go there, it's always such a cool end to the year. So I love being able to go there for sure. That's one of my favorite stops.
Well, I'm curious whether you like lobster, because I have a feeling you and Kevin Barnett will be hanging out in East Hampton. Speaking of Kevin Barnett, let's check in with him now.
Yeah, a little more on Miles Evans and his journey. We talked to a lot of the athletes coming in. Of course, the Olympians last year processing what went on, becoming U.S. representatives in Paris. And for Miles, it's been a long, grinding journey. A kid who went to City College first, went to Santa Barbara next, and was having a good collegiate career and then suffered a pretty nasty injury that had him in a dark place towards the end of his senior year. And he had only the indoor game at that point. And he couldn't decide if he was going to go overseas, try and stay with it. And one of his coaches, Ricardo Diamante, club director up in Santa Barbara, had moved to LA the year before. And he said, listen, come to LA and try this out. Come be a part of the beach scene. And that was 10 years before Miles ends up becoming an Olympian. He had to work that hard and just grind it up until 2023. Miles was coaching from 6 to 10 in the morning, and he was playing from 10 to 2. It took him until the year out from the Olympics to put that away and be secure enough in the partnership, in what was happening, to go to an Olympic Games and wear that USA journey, or wear that USA jersey and represent his country. An incredible way to get there, not the traditional, hey, I started at UCLA and then I went onto the beach and had mad success right away.
Yeah, agree. That it's rad if you look at a lot of these guys on tour and their like journeys and all the things they go through, and it's incredible, especially with him not even really being into beach. And I feel like that's kind of a common thing as well. Like a lot of us start late because we want to go do the indoor thing and the guaranteed money, you know, and then the beach is because you love it and it's cool and it's way more fun. So, you know, it's rad to see a guy like that I've played against for so long, and to see how far he's come and how consistent he's become is like the most impressive thing.
Talked to Chase Budinger about why he decided to play with Miles Evans, and he spoke to just the grit, the grind mentality that he has.
Yeah. Yeah, and wow, what a serve. Look at that, just milking it. Not sorry, just chainsaw it. Perfect. Yeah, Miles, if you're looking at his superpower, it's ball control. It's incredible.
Casey, you were just talking about the journey that these guys have gone on, and reflecting on the financial considerations. That's what the league is changing in a broad way for a lot of these guys. It guarantees Miles' year. It guarantees Brian's year. It gets them the opportunity to improve their craft and continue to advance the elite level of the game. That's so important with the AVP League.
It's so important. I love that you bring that up, because it lets me go be not only just an AVP athlete, but I get to be an AVP athlete that gets to focus on really fine-tuning my skills versus, you know, having to jump around and wonder if I'm going to make, you know, money. This is a great structure for me to go just perfect my craft.
Brooklyn Blaze doing some work right now. Speaking of perfecting their craft, this is a team looking to build, and build specifically here in this second set, now with a 2-point advantage.
Yeah, this is where we you know, there's ballers and then there's ballers, and this is where we step up to see where we're at.
Not surprised with the option. I think Sean Cook with that last swing did the OT call on Chase. I don't know if that's going to bode well.
That's never a good thing. I'll tell you what. He's ready to go to war. That was my favorite thing about Chase, is if we're going to go to battle, he was, you know, we were all in together.
High lift, a little confusion after that first contact. And right to the corner.
Chase and I were talking about that yesterday. I'm like, dude, sometimes it's just better to serve easy because then everything's in system and it feels like I can dial a guy in. Where it gets scrambly and weird, then it's scrambly and weird for us too. And if we don't have the backup, plan, now we're scrambling.
Brooklyn Blaze, set point.
Oh my gosh, what a serve.
That is not an easy serve. The short dagger means we are going to 3. Both men's matches yesterday were sweeps against these two teams. The first 3-set match on the men's side. Blaze ending on a 5-2 run to secure the second.
What a serve. We call that falling off the table, where it just fell right off the table and fed the dog underneath. Those are the serves where, Those are serves where once that ball stops having a little bit of that forward trajectory and it peaks and starts to drop, that's when the wind takes control and the elements get involved.
I'm pretty sure that was just a birthday present for Kiva. His son turning 3 years old yesterday. Happy birthday, bud.
Oh, I love it. Let's go, Dad. Yeah, it's incredible.
All right, we're gonna move to set number 3. I mean, Casey, these two teams, you look at them on paper, you're saying, hey, we've got a rookie. We've got somebody that was in the league last year, but on the other side, and then again, a couple of Olympians. For these two, how do you just play free in this moment?
Well, the good thing is Sean has a rookie on his side that it's like, hey, the expectation level is just go and try to have fun and work and build. So it's almost to their advantage in a sense, right? Because the expectation is when you have the Olympic rings over your head, you're expected to be the most dominant all the time, right? And so that does take a toll, right? And you get a little bit frustrated with that because these guys are out for blood every time. So I think Sean and Brian have a huge advantage mentally because they just get to go have fun.
But you talked about it. It is a little bit of a switch in terms of mentality for these two, Miles Evans and Chase Budinger, and it has happened since qualifying into the Olympics and playing in the Olympics. Right. They spoke to the change. Instead of coming in to the AVP thinking, hey, we're the underdogs, now they've got a target on their back. You got to come in with a different mindset.
Right. I remember being the guy that everyone cheered for, and then suddenly you start winning a bunch, and then nobody cheers for anymore because it's like we want the new squad, we want the new team, we want the crab. I remember playing the Crabs. Everyone wanted the Crabs to win because suddenly we were the bad guys because we were expected to win, right? So it's like you just learn a new dynamic on how you prepare mentally, how you go out and you just ball up at the end of matches and close, which for me was the most addictive thing, and Chase is one of the best I've ever played with at that.
I don't know if you've ever been a bad guy, Casey Patterson. I don't know if anyone could ever claim that. We get ready for set number 3. Two teams looking for their first win in the league. The Brooklyn Blaze and the San Diego Smash. Sean Cook, thus far, 12 kills, just 1 error. He is looking to carry the Brooklyn Blaze against a team that, man, would he love to beat. Chase Budinger, Miles Evans. To 15 we go. He's been faking that side set. Yeah. Didn't this time.
Yeah. I love having the mic down there. Will you give me the nobody call? He's up on me. No, I love that because there's wrinkles in that, right? If you fake all the time but you never set the tone by going on to, then the fake won't work. And so there's a balance there back and forth, and Sean's found it.
Side set on the opposite side and into the corner. Chase Budinger is trying to play nice and level. He really hasn't gotten high or low emotionally.
Well, what's even more impressive is as a high flyer super athlete, did you recognize that Chase didn't max jump? He did a little pitter-patter and got his arm on the ball and just took advantage of the situation with his arm. And so that's something that, as an elite athlete, you don't think that he's just going to get his feet there and do like almost a little no-jump shot. But that's the good players get their feet there and they make it happen.
Chase Budinger, former NBA star. This season as a professional beach volleyball will now surpass the total number of years he spent in the NBA. So does that mean it changes his title?
That's so rad.
Is he now a beach volleyball player? And considering the fact he's an Olympian?
Yeah, either way, it doesn't even, it's like a different stratosphere of human,
He spent 7 years on the NBA. And now 8 years with the AVP.
Yeah, either way you say it, if I'm him, I just like hearing it. It doesn't really matter the order. I'll take it.
Sean out of Perth, Scotland. He actually learned to play beach volleyball next to St. Andrews. There's a good scoop.
Wow.
Like he's out of the same trip.
Wow. The layout to Ginsu to two-step dance circle celebration. It was almost like the Bushwhackers from WE. The two-step at the end. Look at that Cuddy. Come on. Deli thin.
You know anything about golf?
I mean, I love it, but I'm not great at it. I can hit it really far.
St. Andrews is like the oldest course.
Right, it's like the
world.
Historical course. I'm sorry, I didn't play off that.
No,
My
you're
bad.
great. No, you're great. I was just more thinking it's kind of fun because he learned to play
how
adjacent
rad.
to the 18th hole.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's also the same beach that the infamous scene from Chariots of Fire was filmed
No
on.
way.
Fun fact.
Wow.
Miles with an open net. Looking for the over call.
Sean. The entertainer. He doesn't say anything.
Hold me back. Hold me back.
Even if you are little.
I'm always going to say it, even if you aren't. Or you are.
Jay, come on, you jump really high.
There's a lot of chatter down there.
It's always such a hard call. You're like, how much percentage was the ball still not on our side? Oh, got it. Oh. They had to hit the line and maybe a touch.
I think we need just a solo cam on Sean Cook for the entirety, just to watch the antics.
It's incredible.
I told him yesterday, it's like, man, I think you do really well on the pickleball tour.
Oh, we would be great. Oh, I'd love to play with Sean.
Just I'm imagining the two of you next to one another.
Yep. Oh. Just talking to ourselves, but knowing everyone's listening, but really loudly to ourselves.
They're checking that ball mark right now. What do you think it is back at home? In, out of bounds?
I mean, he went through the upright to chase, and then it was real flat. It was hard to tell.
You're sticking with out. It's a love-hate relationship with that second contact from Brian Miller. That one looked like a beauty.
That's a beautiful big man, just saucy set. That's a hard play to make without netting, having to lean in there, strong thumbs, and a perfect location for Sean to just wrap flat line.
Folks at Alki Beach cheering loud for Miller. Sneaking past the left hand.
Such a good lineup. Watching Brian's eye work there was incredible. He's on the ball, then he's right on to Miles. Usually you look at the ball a little bit longer than you should, but he was right on Miles and made a great read. Just need another 4 inches to the left there to stuff it down.
3 steps to the net for Chase Budinger. What happened?
That's one where it's hard to read because Chase is, he's in his face. Brian's fading away to the pin, and then it's just that little bit of sauce on that ball that causes it to spray.
All tied up. Make it 7-6 for the San Diego Smash. The missed serve.
So far, though, I love the serving tactics by both teams. They've gone really, really short, and then sideline and sideline. The two most annoying serves to pass, even if you know they're coming. There's the most annoying.
That one's right on the platform of Cook.
Oh my.
And that ball is bounced out of the sand.
Delray Beach Stadium bounce. The best part is that the look he made while his head was over the net, just to make sure it was available. Just in case you're wondering, it is available, and I'm just going to absolutely Yahtzee it down the line. Don't double up on me.
Trying to pull off the net, and he can't handle.
Oh, that's where Brian has the right. He's got the right hands up, but the tape just causes it, slows it down, and then you backpedal and miss it. Great read by Brian, though. I love that move.
Smash with the 8-7 in set number 3.
This is where Chase busts out his nasty floater. It's just going to fall right off the table or get the trickle. This is where he really brings his Olympic serving.
Set 3, Chase Budinger tries to find the block. Both teams looking for their first win in the league.
That's where you got to tell Sean he didn't push hard enough because it let me net. Dude, you got to push back. They don't know that they called a net on Chase, though.
He doesn't even have a clue.
That's
now
where you got to tell Sean, weight room, bro. You didn't even push back enough, and I netted because you're not even pushing back. This is where I remember during the qualifiers, during Huntington Beach, Sean lit up some middle serves in this hard cross and into Miles' right side.
Buttinger. No. That is definitely OT.
I feel like you looked 3 times. That's so frustrating as a blocker and defender because he's looking at you. You can't make any jukes or fakes. He just freezes you. So smooth.
Miller works behind, and so does Buttinger.
Yeah, see that? Like, Brian goes over there, he takes a look, he wants Chase to go up with him, he doesn't, so then Brian has to just, like, hope that that's available and go fast down the line, and that's exactly what Chase wants. Ooh, that's a tough ball. I mean, the block's there, Chase is up there, and Sean's letting him know that it's tight. It's a tough miss.
Timeout called, and Sean is actually having some conversation with Chase Buttinger, having a smile as the smasher on a 3-0 run.
And their coach. Smash on a 3-0 run, you said? You keep stealing all Doug's stats. I want to do that. Doug, don't give her any more. I'm taking them.
Post-Olympics, though, when teams retain their partners, it is always interesting. What's the next development for that team? And when you looked at Chase and Miles as they're in the midst of a timeout, what are some of the things that they could improve upon?
You know, what you had to do is you had to almost hyper-focus on things that you could really help improve your game and have that be something that almost feels like it's a massive weakness. Because what it does is you're so good at hyper-focusing and you feel like you've been to the mountaintop at the Olympics, and then you come back and you're playing kids that sleep in their beds every morning and, you know, just roll down to Hermosa Beach. They're not doing the grind and the travel, and so mentally you almost have to, like, do the Jordan thing where you just make up scenarios to keep yourself really motivated and, you know, fine-tuning your game as much as possible. But also, you add some layers. Let's add in something new to focus on, and then it keeps you crisp and focused on, you know, playing at a real high level.
Miles has also talked about just the management of nerves post-Olympics, and that's got to be a significant change, and especially considering the moment that they're in right now. It is third set. They do have the advantage, but this might feel smaller than what it once did to him.
100%. He used to be a guy that could make unbelievable plays, and then in these moments kind of like glitch a little bit. Like, oh, okay, you know, and so I think now that confidence and that part of his game is gone.
You just saw it on screen. Each of these men's teams took a loss in straight sets yesterday, and the net comes to the Brooklyn Blaze.
The ball was down. It's down. I love that call. Like, even when you don't make it, I always had the backup comment, too, that still made it like either we gave it to you or it was something out of my control, so it's not my fault.
Miller into the corner, a much-needed side out. In the third set, the Brooklyn Blaze and the San Diego Smash men going head-to-head. Sean Cook and his partner, Brian Miller, facing off against the Olympic duo, Chase Buttinger and Miles Evans.
This is where you got to find the magic. You got to just play off, you know, keeping things loose and willing to trust each other here and kind of go for something.
What are they going to go for here? How about a big stuffy? Recovered, though, by the smash and paired with one.
That is such an insane high-level block by Brian. Great timing. He dives the line. We call that the drag. He drags his left arm as he floats away. Jake Gibb, we kind of like created that with Tyler Hildebrand, and it was one of our most successful blocks.
That's trademarked?
Yeah, Jake trademarked that, yep. We want the $3 that Brian might get from it. Ooh.
That's a solid bounce.
Good swing. I like him staying kind of a little bit more of that medium tempo where he could just stay in rhythm and keep Chase in front of him and not have to look and wait. I think that's where he belongs.
Down 3. Blaze needs some help. High set. And a change in tempo.
What a good read. And that's the Olympic change in Miles. Normally he wants to go like, bounce out of here to sick cutty. Where there, that high middle slime is elite next level offense.
For their first win in the league in 2025. Match point. Evans walks into that and sprints to a kill.
What a play. The hold and four, then straight to the other pin. That's the layers and things they're adding to stay crisp, to stay motivated, to know that everyone wants you to kind of lose as the Olympians and it's expected to win. That's a great wrinkle that they've added.
San Diego closes out on a 7-2 run to end the match here in the third set. The men have their first win.
Let's go, boys. Baby steps across the office.
Chase Budinger and Miles Evans, your 2024 Paris Olympians and defending champs of the AVP League. The ladies are taking the court next. You're not going to want to miss what's still to come, but Cook and Miller drop a 3-set battle to C. Bud and Miles Evans. The foot volley got it done.